Hello and welcome to Maverrik Live. I am your host Luke, and today I am joined by Vasco Botello. How's it going? I've dropped the misters now, I realise.
Yep.
If you ever watch through all of these Maverrik Lives, if you're watching through a playlist right now, hello, this is probably episode number 56. Yeah, I always introduce with Mr. or Misters.
Yeah, no, hopefully not Mrs.
You can interview your wife. She seems like a really nice
that's
person.
true. Yeah,
she's an entrepreneur. She's got her own business.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
But today we're not talking about Mrs. Botello. We're talking about 4 ways to boost your sales process.
Yep.
And obviously I brought yourself in as a veteran in the sales world.
That's what happens when you get grey hair. And your hairline starts receding.
So call you veterans.
Veterans. Another word for being old.
And you've got your book ready for you as well.
Yeah, just
that's another sign you don't have a laptop or a Kindle or like you got sticking
to.
No,
funny. I like that, but I don't know why writing on paper makes me remember things better.
Yeah, they really try and like replicate that all the time in tablets. And they do a really good job of it in a sense.
Yeah, but for example, I don't know if you have that experience. It's got nothing to do with what we're going to talk, by the way.
This is the introduction. It's fine. It's tagged. If you look on the bottom bar, it'll cut it up in little bits. If you want to get straight to it, just click on that. It'll be fine.
But the thing is, sometimes when you write, you don't even have to write a word. You just do a scribble, and it reminds you of something, which when you do it electronically or digitally, doesn't say anything.
So we got a hello from Romania. Hello there.
Hi.
Don't forget, if you've got any questions about these little 4 ways to boost your sales process, let us know. Obviously, we'll have more in-depth training on our Tuesday sessions. This is more of a very informal look.
And you can even drop us an email at maverrik.co.uk.
Here we go.
And it'll be great.
So do you want to just jump right into it, Vasco?
Yeah, sure, let's go.
Cool. So this is the 4 ways to boost your sales process that we've got right now. I love doing that. I love this clicker now. It's a new little gadget. So don't create recurring meetings when you don't need them. Now, this is a problem where you're kind of running around in circles with the person you're talking to.
I think, like everything in life, too much of something is bad.
Yeah.
And you should prepare well the meetings you're going to have with your clients or your prospects, know what you're going to talk about, and also know the approach you're going to have. Also, then something we're going to talk a little bit later, have a strategy for this. Because most people go on to meetings and they don't know anything about the client, anything about the product, or even anything about what's going to be the follow-up.
Yeah, they can have an introductory call, but even with that introductory call, you really need to know who you're talking to, where they're from, and kind of why they joined you in the first place. So you need to know where they've come from in order to have that meeting.
And have an idea where they want to go to, or where they want to be.
Yeah.
So that becomes very important. And then the thing is, have just the right number of meetings to close the sale.
Yeah.
So have one as a discovery call, have another one just to discuss the details of the quote you've sent, for example, and then have the last one to close the deal.
Yeah.
And the thing about going on to that last one, you have to go with a special type of mentality, which is, I'm going to close this. I'm going to do everything in my power to close this.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then book another call to do it.
Yeah, they're not set in stone, each one of those 3.
No, they're not.
It's not discovery, follow-up and sale. You're not going to get a sale every time by following that, because sometimes people have to run away for a certain bit. You can rebook another one. But it's knowing when you're just going through the motions of these chats over and over again. You're not really getting anywhere. If something new hasn't been discovered during that call, then you're just having random conversations.
Yeah. And clients like to talk to people because you're creating a relationship.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they've got a job to do, and the call has a purpose. And the purpose for the client is you answering their problem, and the purpose of the call for you is to make a sale. So you should concentrate on that process.
Exactly. So moving on to the next one is have a strategy, like you said beforehand. And that strategy is how you got them in the call in the first place and all the way through it. Because a sales call starts from the first contact. So the first time you like someone's post, if you're going through a social selling route, first time you send them a connection request, first time you even schedule a meeting, you need to know who they are. You need to have that strategy behind them to say, okay, this is what I'm going to get from this call during this call right now.
Let me say this. New business development people are a very special breed of salespeople, because they tend to find out everything about their client. And if you're not, you should be doing this. You should know what he likes to do, where he likes to go, what he does, so that when you sit with him, there's something in common.
Yeah.
Remember, anything in sales is done by relationship.
And that can be quite scary, thinking that you need to remember all that as well.
No, but it becomes
you don't,
natural.
because you can
natural.
write notes in the notebook. You've got like your CRMs, and there's a lot of tools on Sales Navigator that can really help you with that. So you don't need to have, you don't need to be Rain Man. You don't need to remember every single little bit about them.
No, but you have to remember one thing. People buy from people, and they do that because you've created a relationship that you also have to nurture.
Yeah.
And one way of nurturing is knowing things about the person, knowing what he likes to do. For example, like surfing, know something about surfing. Something that about his product. He's created the product. Go and to make the person feel important of what he's got and what he says. Create that relationship and then move on that.
That can also help you book better meetings, because if you understand when they're available, you won't try and book a meeting when they're not available. And that can show that you don't actually care about them or understand them if you're trying to book in a time where they're not available. So say if they have, if we're in the UK now and they have kids who are doing the school run, you wouldn't book a meeting at 3 o'clock on a Monday if they're all in school, because you realize, oh, he needs to pick up his kids or she needs to pick up his kids. And then obviously this person doesn't understand me at all.
And every country is different. For example, I remember getting a diary from a company that gave it to me, and I looked at it, and I could only book appointments up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And in some European countries, and some of people are probably listening to us today, know that meetings will go after 6, lots of them. So I couldn't use that. But you have to adapt to the country you're doing business with and with the person. So you should have a strategy for the booking of the appointment or the call, for the theme you're going to talk about, and how you're going to carry the conversation.
Yeah.
It must have a start and an end. And remember, the end is always to do a sale.
Exactly. I'm going to go back to what you talked about, the time of day. Is kind of why Maverrik is in a 9 to 5 solely business, and we do our training at 7 o'clock. It's so we can catch everyone. We've probably worked out in American times kind of quite early on in the mornings, depending on which state it is, and it's kind of like a nice little sweet spot. Because I think I saw it was a chart or like an interactive map of internet usage across the world, and there's a time where everything lights up, and it's kind of towards the early evening, and then it all drops down again.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the time zones as well. So if you want to capture most people around the world, you need to kind of have that really sweet spot to talk to people.
Yep. Oh, also, in the new world we are in, you don't stick to only doing sales locally. You can go worldwide. Yeah. And you have to bear in mind, for example, I've had that experience where we opened up to Australia. So I was doing calls at 10 in the evening and midnight. But that was the only way I could talk to these clients. So, you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, but that's only if you're looking for obviously business around the world. Like if you want to just stay, in your country, and like you can book meetings as you're comfortable with. Because if you start booking meetings at 3 a.m. in the morning, you're going to be tired. You might not get the most out of a meeting.
Yeah.
So let's go over to investing in training, which is probably your favorite thing to talk about, because you're just going to talk about what we do.
I'll be honest. Investing in training, I think most old timers like me come from a time where either you learned on the job or you're out. So nothing was given to you, you weren't trained, you landed on a job and you had to go and do it. Nowadays, you've got this great opportunity of learning your craft and learning your craft well. So you should invest in learning your craft, because it makes you a better person and makes you a better professional. So everything that you can learn, every webinar, webcast you can go to, attend, every live event, go for it, because it makes you a better person.
Yeah, we're not saying go out and just start spending thousands of pounds on these new training courses and coaches. We're saying invest in the time it takes to train yourself as well.
Yeah.
So give yourself maybe an hour or so after your day-to-day work just to, learn something new.
It's interesting, and I'm going to go onto LinkedIn on this, but I talk to hundreds of people, not to mention thousands of people, who say, I know everything about LinkedIn. I've been on it since 2010. I know all about it. And after they sort of stop, listening, or when we stop talking to them, they go, hang on, I didn't know this. This is new. Funny enough, I just came off a call with the client that he ended up, even 3 people in his team saying, you know what, we didn't know this.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. I thought I knew everything. So training becomes essential for you to learn the quirky things, to learn the opportunities. And, if you learn well your craft, you will see in every difficulty, you'll see an opportunity.
Yeah, it's why we don't say we're like the be all and end all of knowledge, because we're still learning it. Because if you do say that, I know all of this, I will never, I will always know everything all the time, you're not opening yourself up to learning anything new. And if you don't do that, you will never learn anything new.
No. And then you can never think too old to learn, or think that you've lost, the bus and you can't catch it
another one
anymore.
is I don't have time.
Yeah.
Like that happens all the time, is that I don't have time to do this. Like between my home life and the work right now, I don't have time to put in to learn anything new. But that can come in a small space. Like the reason we do this at 12:15 is because someone's probably having lunch right now.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're just sat there, eating a sandwich, thinking, okay, a lot of them's thinking, this is terrible, I'm going to go watch some cartoons. But it's, this time we're taking to invest in just a little bit of, changing your mindset and thinking more about sales and LinkedIn will help you in the long run.
It's investing in yourself. And, if you open yourself up to new training, you will certainly be more successful. Really, you will.
So, reviewing the process. This is another one where we were talking about having a strategy, refining that and learning more. You need to do that by realizing that your process can become stale.
Yep. This is when you become very comfortable in what you're doing. And you just, repeat what you're doing. And then, interesting, this is happening quite a lot now. It's companies all of a sudden realizing, hang on, we've been doing this for the last 20 years and now it's not working. Why?
Yeah.
And they can't understand that the problem is on their side, not on the market side or in the prospect side.
We've been doing this for years and years and years.
And it's always worked. Why doesn't it work now?
Even if it does work now, it could have been working better, or you could have been finding new ways to, grow. But then when it does start declining, and they're like, well, why isn't it working now?
And companies tend to forget, for example, the decision makers have become younger. CEOs are around the 20-ish age group now. They speak a different language. They approach things in a very different way. So you have to talk to them in a very different manner. So you have to change and adapt your processes to how the market is reacting. For example, we came out of a big crisis now, which I'll not mention the name of what it is, but we all know what we're going through. But the companies that adapted to this new situation and looked at this difficulty as an opportunity to change and adapted, they're being very successful.
Yeah, I feel like as time has gone on, business has become a little bit less stuffy. As the younger CEOs keep coming in, they want to have more personal conversations, like you said. They want to learn and grow with people, and they want to trust people. Where it was back in the days, I feel like business was this big, grey corporation of just sales and figures and numbers. But it's become a little bit more than that.
Look, a great example I just remembered. There are a couple of countries which are top of my head, I know, where all the business is done over lunch. You take the prospect to lunch, you sit down for a 2-3 hour lunch, and that's where you do business. All of a sudden, the people they were talking to, inviting to lunch, they had no time for lunch. So all of a sudden they go, how do I want to do the business now? Because these guys don't want to come to lunch. They want to sit in the office and have a sandwich. It's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, they're just black behind. They're just like, just a blank screen, just keep on typing, and then it just becomes like this robotic sort of way of living. So
adapt to the change.
And finally, we've got ensure you have continuity. So this means across the board, for all your sales process, you are saying the exact same thing. You are not changing the game suddenly. You're not springing anything on them. You are consistent through all of your messaging. So it's a little bit of marketing as well, a little bit of marketing side of things.
There's something which I like saying. Lots of companies or businesses, they do the spray and pray technique. Let's try and say everything we do, try and sell all our products and see if something sticks. And if it sticks, then we go with it. Instead of concentrating, which is what we call land and expand, one message, one product, go in and then move from there. Because what you need is to enter a business, and then start upselling and cross-selling.
Yeah.
And when people get a taste of what you do and they like you, they want more of you. So you have to get to a point where people want to taste you. And also, opportunities in this sort of thing is pain. Because you're looking for people who have a pain, and that your solution, your product, is the paracetamol to their pain.
Yeah, so that's the message. That's the message that you're using throughout the entire process. So make sure your messaging is very consistent.
Yeah.
Constantly, I also want to talk about is the same person talking to you. So the reason why I bring every single person onto Maverrik Live is because I want everyone to see who they are, who they're talking to, and know that they're good at what they do.
Very important. Really.
And I brought Curtis on, I brought Josh on, and some of them are quite shy on camera. You might know they're getting better as time goes along. You'll see throughout the episodes how well they talk now. But the marketing and showing them throughout the lines now, when they're doing the sales calls, they'll go, oh, I know Curtis, I've seen him on the lives before, I've seen him on the marketing messages, and I've seen him on adverts. So continuity is having the same person to talk to throughout the process. And I feel there's nothing worse than having that whole journey, and then in the end, okay, now the sale meeting's happening, you're going to be given to this random person you don't know before.
Great example is, for example, when you talk to a call center about a problem, and you have to call like 3 days in a row, and you talk to 3 different people, we have to go over the process all over again, and you get the feeling they're not understanding you. And you feel frustrated, and if a new solution comes up or a new supplier comes up, you'll move because you're so cross with what's being done to you. Same happens when people are interacting with businesses. It should always be the same point of contact, having the same way towards the company and the way they talk to the company, and they'll feel understandable. They are understood.
It's really good for customer service as well, because I feel like, I was going to say, I feel quite old saying this, but if I talk to a company and there's someone who I know has my back in that company or feels like it, I'll say, oh, I talked to this person, they're really helpful, and and it helps you realize that you've got someone really good in your team as well.
Yeah.
Because they actually ask from in person, like, oh, I talked to Luke on the phone, this was really good and really helpful, I want to keep talking to this person. In sales, that can be really helpful for you because you realize that, oh, this person helped me with this problem, I want to keep talking to them. You get shunted off to someone else or someone else and someone else. You start to lose the image that you matter to that company or to that person you talked to in the start.
For example, in a way, in terms of ensuring continuity, I know a company that does deliveries. And every 3 weeks, they change the delivery drivers and they do something else. So the new delivery drivers, they're finding problems. They don't know the people. So the clients are frustrated because every time they have to deal with new people with a problem that's reoccurring.
Yeah. Do you know your postman?
No, I don't.
You know your postman. So is it the same person every time, would you think?
I haven't got a clue. Probably not.
No, so I'm going to say, I know my postman and I know when he is arriving. But he saw me the other day walking my dog, and I think he recognizes the dog and not me. But I recognize him and I'm used to him. So if he came into my door with anything, I would just immediately just accept it.
Let me correct that. I know the postman of the office, because when I come into the office early in the morning, he's arriving. And he already knows me, and he waits for me and gives me.
But you know him and trust him. That's the problem. Yeah. So if you see him like around the building saying hello, you know him. You can talk to him. Yeah. And you feel a little bit more at ease.
Look, everything in the world is got to do with relations and good relations. Yeah. So creating the relationship is very important. Either when you start business or when you want to end the business, that becomes critical.
Exactly. So thank you for coming down, Vasco. Thank you for your comments down below. We had a great point from Sean there, just saying, just agreeing that we need to appeal more to younger buyers and be more adaptable. Thank you for all your comments there. Don't forget to subscribe to us and you'll be notified whenever we go live for these Maverrik Lives here. And give us a like if you really enjoyed it. And you can still comment your points down below for any points you might need to make.
No, and if you need you've got any queries, just email us.
Yeah, hi@maverrik.co.uk for any of your queries. We've also got a lot of people were looking for resource yesterday. So if you're watching this from yesterday's show, just email us at hi@maverrik.co.uk and we'll get those assets towards you.
Oh, hang on. I can't go without saying hello in Portuguese. We've got someone from Brazil, Maria. Boa tarde. Nice having you on board.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again for watching Maverrik Live. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you again, Vasco.
You are more than welcome.
And we'll see you next time.